Welcome, one and all, to Dreamworks Dungeons and Dragons. I am your dungeon master, August Schmid, and with me, as always, are the wonderful players that we have. Playing, of course, Shen, Jinji, Minarith, Adora, and Valka. We're so excited, of course, to be back and playing. Last we saw this group, this very fine group, I should say, uh, fighting off dangerous and strange shadow creatures. Each of you discovered, of course, that something interesting is happening with the world, and that you're not entirely sure what it is. While fighting these shadows, you found yourselves facing off against a rather large demonic shadow that tried to possess Adora and was saying some very strange things, to be sure. But thankfully, you were able to defeat not only this creature but the others and restore balance. As you headed out of the marketplace, more into Keld itself, the party, of course, decided to travel together, and upon some history checks, Minarith checked in on the idea of what would be the best place to look into astrological signs, like the current red moon that has now faded from the sky. And you all decided upon heading towards Odin's temple, which is north of Keld. Shen, of course, with a very nice nat 20 to find Volred Dorcas. Volred being a bit more Nordic gentleman who is leading a convoy, shall we call it, in a pilgrimage up to Odin's temple, where you have all been hired at 40 gold pieces. For the one-way trip up to the temple, you'll be provided with steeds, and you're more there, of course, as protection through the Black Forest. It is a dangerous place, after all. Um, as we then begin tonight's session, uh, you all find yourselves on the road leading out of Keld and deeper into the Black Forest itself. The sun has risen. It is about midday, and you know that this is a 2-day journey where you will be traveling through the Black Forest with just, I should say, two simple carts. There's only about 5 people that are taking the pilgrimage right now. But it is to note that all these people are commoners or priests or acolytes to their own regard that do not have access to weapons, magic, and the like that normal adventurers have. The road leading off into the Black Forest stretches onward for many, many kilometers. You notice that very quickly, though midday, the forest swallows up most of the light in and around and only dapples through as the branches catch all the light up like a giant net. Each of you will have your own steed, and as last we saw Jinji, you will be traveling with Valka, unless denoted otherwise. Just because that way, of course, you can be here, but they only have to charter 4 horses for the coming journey. As you are all starting to ride through the woods, the caravan, of course, is 2 carts, one behind the other. Would anyone have any preference in where they want to ride? Like being in front of the carts, going behind, and I don't want to call it a marching order, but almost that like, hey, where do you want to position yourselves in relation to the people, to your party, and stuff like that?
No preference.
I mean, I feel like it would be smart to have like 2 of us in front of the caravan and 2 of us in back. And like, I don't mind which. I guess I could do front.
Oh yeah, Odora's willing to go to the front. It's not like in her mind it's better to face whatever's coming head on. So she'll take the front watch.
Gotcha. So Adora and Valka more heading towards the front. which could leave, I mean, just kind of that like process of elimination. Shen and Minarith just more towards the back of the caravan. And this, of course, would put Gingy kind of up front too, for sure. Uh, as you guys start riding, the day seems, shall we say, rather nice. But I'm going to do a quick check to see if anything happens to the weather. Oh my, how interesting. The weather is going to change a bit here. As you
It's not
move-
here. You're not allowed to roll a nat 1 for weather.
Jeez.
I'm just saying, I rolled a quick D100 and it popped up an 18. Moving through the woods, everything is going well, but after about an hour and a half, not even into what we would know as true afternoon, the weather has started turning much more sour. Snow is starting to fall in thick clumps, and each of you feel that natural frost move across the tree branches and settle deep into your bones. As you feel the frost begin, snow is starting to fall rather hard here in the Black Forest. What I would ask is there anything people want to do or say to each other, or even just your surroundings, as you start to ride?
No, really. Sorry, Fedora's not really a talky person, especially around new people.
You say that like you didn't just give us your whole life story last session. I love that.
She was a little bit distraught by having something go down her throat and up her nose. So
Listen, I only info dump when it's life or death.
yeah, no, it's like tell my story. I think I'm about to die.
Fair. I don't have anything to like say so much as just like, you know, looking around, checking on the people, making sure like everybody can cope with traveling in the snow, and like, does that make sense? Making sure nobody's like falling behind or anything bad is happening.
Yeah, I like that. Go ahead and make me a quick perception check, Valka. Just more or less like, let's see who's doing okay and who's not doing okay.
Also, how much snow is there?
Currently, it has just started to fall, and so it's that like it's sticking enough to like the branches and ground. It's that okay, we've got like that light skiff where if you brush your hand, it's gone, but it is still currently falling.
On a 3 perception, everything is a-okay.
Yes,
Can I perceive?
Valka, everything's totally fine. Yeah, Adora, you're up front. You can make a perception check.
Actually, I want to specify a little bit what I'm going to be doing before you make me roll a perception check, in case you let me have a lower DC because of it.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Minarith is used to traveling all over, so I imagine she's used to this kind of weather as well. In snowy weather, especially if it is currently snowing, then the visibility is going to be much worse than normal. Holy crap, Adora, nice job. Basically, I was going to say that she's going to unfocus her eyes and basically let her peripheral vision catch movement, because that is going to be the most effective way to notice if anyone or anything is potentially causing us danger.
For sure. I like that. I actually will say, go ahead, Minarith, you can make me, it's a DC 12 investigation check. As you're doing a very specific, like, focusing of the eyes and looking around. I will definitely allow that. Oh, 16. Well done. And Adora, I did note the nat 20, of course. No worries.
Thank you.
But we are going to start because Minarith, as you ride with Shen in the back of the caravan, Shen is not very talkative, even on good days. So as Shen rides, you're noticing that it's really just kind of yourself and your thoughts And as you have that thought of, well, what if I kind of unfocus just a little bit? Maybe you try to take a moment and think about what's about to occur. You stop and feel your eyes kind of unfocus. Off in your periphery, there is slight movement. Not constant, like what we would know as something that was tracking, but every so often in the Black Forest, something is moving out there. And your eyes seem to start catching a pattern, shall we say, on a 16, where you feel every so often that something moves into your vision and moves out very deliberately. It waits just a few minutes, moves in, and moves out. So you know that
Maybe it's trying to draw our attention?
You don't think it's trying to draw attention, as if it was trying to draw attention, it might have been closer, shall we say. It wouldn't have been an investigation check to almost give the meta answer, as something out there is moving in a pattern even if they don't want it to be a pattern.
Okay, thank you.
Adora, you got a natural 20. As the snow is starting to gather, everything is starting to get a little more, shall we call it, frosty all around. You make a perception check, and these woods seem eerily quiet. Now, woods and snow already do have that effect. You kind of become used to this, shall we say, throughout your life. But what I would ask is go ahead and can you make me an insight check, we'll call it.
Absolutely. Do I get to do this just because of my nat 20?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, great. I feel no pressure whatsoever. Also, my dice roller, very slow. So it might take a second.
You're totally fine.
But that's okay. Turn? No. Honestly, it's more nerve-wracking because it just goes so slow. With like, oh, am I going to go to the 2? No. Okay, it went to 18. Okay, sent to 20.
A synthetic 20. Adora, you have had these feelings before. On that synth 20 insight, on the nat 20 perception, this type of journey and this type of travel is only ever occurring when there is, for lack of a better term, an ambush. Now, you know it's not a trap right now. It's not like, oh, we're about to roll initiative. But even with snow, even with the world, this road feels a little too perfect right now. There's light snow, there's not a lot of animals. Like, you, I will say, have a perfect understanding that something is about to happen that is, in fact, an ambush, for lack of the better term. And I'll let you...
Great. How do I prepare to stop it? How can I best avoid it?
That's kind of up to you at this point, is what I will say. Because you can share the information with your party how you so choose. You can prepare how you want. That's just like on that nat 20 perception of something's wrong and the complete insight of something's about to happen. I'm saying this is now very much your game, so to speak.
Awesome. Great. I'm going to say, I wonder if, okay, hear me out, guys. Do you think we could play a game of telephone and not mess it up if it's one word? Because I want to yell ambush, but I also don't want to startle the people we're working for or alert the people that are going to be ambushing us.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I am just a wee fighter. So I'm going to kind of to Valka and then pull back a little bit to try and get to the next person. I'm just going to mutter. I'm going to say it out loud, but you know, it's very, like, the softest thing you've ever heard is, there's an ambush coming. Fair. I heard them. Or just with the word ambush. and see if do any of my party members need to make rolls to pass that along.
I would say, yeah, if you want to start by giving it to Valka, I'm going to let it be for free, let alone that you two are the ones that wanted to ride up front. It's very much since you had those nat 20s, you know that, like, you know how to quickly get the information out. But it's, this will then go to Valka. It's Valka, how do you want to pass along the information?
Just to clarify, we don't have anything more specific about like what direction to check out, if it's like further down the path or off in the woods, or like so far only information is like something's gonna happen.
I will let you know it's around you. There's no direction because it's
No
yes
direction.
direction.
Okay.
I will require Rebecca's cooperation for this idea, but I feel like the best way, because I don't necessarily want to panic the people either, especially if they're like in the wagons and like not easy to get to and running around and like in the way. So assuming that nobody's like in imminent danger, I would like ask Gingy to like, you know, stealthily hop back across the wagons and like to the people, the party members riding in the back, those two, because it's like no one watching from the woods will probably notice this tiny gingerbread figure riding on my shoulder, like, you know, skittering back to the back of the caravan.
For sure. Yeah, I'll ask Gingy. How do you feel about that plan? Because it would be very possible. I'd probably give advantage for like a stealth check.
Or like I could even try and like gently toss her to like Tice or somebody, right? Like, or whoever else is in the back. It's Lonnie and Tice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could like offer to like, would that be an athletics check to help her along, or however that works out. That's my idea if she agrees.
Yes. So, Gingy, I am happy to be tossed and try to be stealthy.
Mm-hmm. So I love it. I think here's what we'll do. Valka or Gingy, one of you will be making a stealth check at advantage. I will say it's, even though the act is Valka kind of helping gently throw Gingy over, it's you're both going to work together to accomplish this. So it's whoever wants to make the roll.
I will say I have bad stealth because I have my armor.
Let me see. Where's my? I have okay stealth. It's not amazing, but
Yeah, probably better than mine though.
so here's my first roll. Ooh.
That's already pretty good.
So starting with a 20.
Nice.
Excellent stuff. With a dirty 20, Valka, you cock your arm and just flick toss. And Gingy, it's very much that, like, if you've ever taken a hot cookie out of the oven too fast, where you just kind of fold in on yourself and just kind of make yourself aerodynamic and fling yourself all the way back, bouncing off of the back caravan cart and kind of plop yourself into Minerith's lap on her horse. Yeah, and I would say, Gingy, how do you want to pass along the message, or what would you say then at this point?
As low as my little squeaky voice will go, and with little frosted knees quaking, I pass along. There's an ambush coming our way.
I love it. Minerith, you and Shen now know this, meaning no one in the party will have any surprise, and I will give everyone will have a free action they'll be allowed to prepare before we roll initiative.
Is there something, because everyone else was allowed to say something to someone, could I go ahead to the biggest wagon and I basically want to approach looking as if I, like, kind of giggling to myself and then start laughing out loud after I, like, go to the wagon and say, just prepare, there is danger. As soon as you hear noise, please just get down to the floor of the wagon, and then just laugh really loud as if I just told them a really funny joke or something.
Um, okay, I will say this, Minareth, because you are kind of in the back, and if you ride forward, you can do this, but it's going to be a deception check at disadvantage.
Deception at disadvantage. Oh, fun. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna do this because I just don't want a bunch of people to die because they're panicking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so rolling 2. Oh, I forgot to actually. Well, I have a +5 to my deception. Oof. So that's a 13 on the lower one. Sorry, I forgot to roll specifically deception.
You're totally good. On a 13, I'm going to quickly roll. That was a
Oof.
17.
Oof.
Excellent. Shen, you ready one of your throwing daggers to...
Hey, does someone want to give guidance? Could Jinji give guidance?
I would say, yeah.
That's an action, so August might be picky about initiative.
I will be picky. It's everyone's gonna have one action. So like Shen, your action is readying a throwing dagger. It's if you want to give some sort of guidance, or if anyone wants to give that like help action, it's gonna be your action right now.
If I make that my action, could like the warning the people in the cart, would that be allowed to be made flat?
I think the problem is this already kind of is your big action right now.
Sure.
Alrighty. I will say then for everyone who's getting ready, we have Shen's. Valka, Jinji, Adora, any other actions you want to prepare before something happens?
Hold on. Did you say deception
Yes.
for what she was doing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not proficient in it, but I have a plus. So would my help action help at all?
I would say in this moment you would need to have the proficiency to offer the help action.
Yep.
I don't always do it depending on how you roleplay it, but
Sorry.
I think you would need it. No, it's a fair question.
Yeah. That's just all I could do. No, I'm gonna kind of prep my longbow just a little bit, kind of nonchalantly, like how arrows and bows should not actually held in real life, but in fantasy it's okay. Kind of putting an arrow inside of the bow and just riding along with it, and kind of readying that action to shoot if something attacks back.
For sure. Kind of knocking an arrow all nonchalant. Yeah, Valka or Jinji, any held actions?
I am holding an action to attack whatever comes out of the woods.
Gotcha. Full sword, just like, okay, if anything rushes, I'm ready to attack. And finally, Jinji, anything you want to prepare?
I'm just getting ready to cast Bless.
Cast Bless. Excellent. As this happens, Minareth, you ride up to this carriage, the second carriage up. As you lean into the driver, you whisper this message. Turn back and notice out of the periphery of your eye, something moves in and out, but then moves back in, and you watch as the tree you are riding next to seems to suddenly lunge out and try to grapple you off of your horse. I would like everyone to roll me initiative. And of course, I am putting up a little battle map for anyone who wants to see on the channel.
Thank you.
Okay.
I really like visual aids.
Yeah, visual aids are fun, and honestly, I like making little token maps. They're really fun. We have, and I will say, it's Fog of War is on right now because of the tree and snow, so it's going to be hard to see everything that's coming out, so to speak, of the woodwork. No pun intended. Here we go. With our initiative rolls, we have Minareth with a total of 8. We have Adora with a 14. Shen, a total of 15. A Gingy with a 19. And finally, a Valka with a 12. Excellent. Rolling for some of these things. The first thing, Minareth, that you see, a figure seems to emerge and twist proportion out of the tree itself as if they stepped through onto dry ground. These strange dryad creatures appear. As they do so, whooshing down from the clouds, gigantic owls, large tawny owls, make their way out and into the clearing beside you all. At this point, I will say, Adora, you had a longbow held action, so if you want to take your attack, same with Shen. Shen, you had a throwing dagger ready, and so you either have a dryad or an owl, and Valka, an owl, is swooping down right at you, so these held actions can all trigger right now to try to hit.
So hear me out.
Come the freak on!
That was a 12 for Valka. Oh, I will say, and Gingy's bless is going to go off. So let's actually, Gingy, who would you like to give your bless to?
There we go. I think I'll give it to Valka, and then just the next two people who are close to me from my party.
Gotcha.
So I think
Looks like Adora and Minareth are probably going to be the first one, because I think Minareth is just in range too.
okay. Yeah, let's do them.
Excellent. So Valka.
Could one of them actually be Shen because she went to the back where Shen and I are?
Oh, excuse me. Right.
Oh, right.
Gingy is next to Minareth. So yes. So that would be yes. Valka, Minareth, and Shen. Thank you for that clarification, because that's 2, 4. Yep. So that way everyone's in line of area. Thank you for that point of clarification.
So does that mean I get to add a d4 to that 12 to hit?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. It might have low AC, but we don't know yet.
Because, yeah, Shen's...
That's a 13 to hit.
13. Shen got a 9, which unfortunately will miss the armor class. And a 13 Valka will barely hit the owl that swoops down at you. So Shen,
Should I roll for...
Oh yes, please, Adora, roll shooting. I will say the dryad is popping out right next to you, so for Adora, you probably are going to have to roll at disadvantage to hit with your longbow.
Okay.
Just because, like, the dryad is within 5 feet.
Okay.
So, if we still haven't had any sort of rest, then I believe, if I understand the rules correctly, Crimson Rite is still up.
Mm-hmm.
So, the sword damage that I rolled is still magical, and I rolled an extra 1 point of lightning damage.
Excellent. That will be a total then of 13 plus 1. The giant owls, let's see, there's the first one here, will take 14 points magical damage. The first owl that you slash at Valka already looks horribly bloodied as you, and sword comes down, cleaving through the wing, and the owl looks really bad within moments. As that happens, Adora and Shen, you each draw Adora longbow knocked, and unfortunately too close. The arrow flies just over the Dryad's head, does not connect. As Shen, you throw out one of these throwing daggers that and just sticks into the tree next to the owl. Very close, but unfortunately not close enough to hit. And of course, I'm sending to the dice tray the initiative tracker for anyone who wants to keep track.
Thank you.
Sorry, I should say I should be doing this just like naturally, so I won't announce it every time. These are just the held actions. All of you can tell immediately the Dryads and owls, these creatures that have attacked you, look immediately frightened and scared, as this was supposed to be a surprise ambush, like a clean in and out, and none of you were surprised. You all were able to prepare for this. That will start us though at the top of the order with the owls. An owl is going to attack Valka. The other owl is going to fly and come and attack Shen, just because you're the aggressors. The first owl is going to attack Valka and is going to roll a synthetic 17, which I believe still hits. Shen, that was a natural 3 for a total of 6, will miss. Valka, the giant owl will hit you for 11 points of slashing damage. And can you please make me a strength saving throw?
Remind me, do I add bless to saving throws?
Yes, you do.
So is that 17 total?
17. I will let you know the DC was 15. As you feel claws grip into your armor, try to rip you out of your horse saddle, but cannot unseat you, and you are not grappled. The owl is going to then finish its movement and go 10, 20, and perch up. And with its flyby attack,
Do I get an opportunity attack?
they have
Oh,
flyby.
the freaking griffins! I hate that.
Hey, listen.
So rude.
That's a canon trait with D&D. It's called flyby, where it goes into attack and just moves away. So Shen, as well, the owl that attacked you is going to attack, miss. It can't get all the way. It did use almost its full movement, so it is still mid-flight, just about out of melee range, shall we say. The owls take their turn, and that brings us to top of the order, Gingy. Gingy, you just cast Bless as the Dryads and owls just appeared. What would you like to do here, Gingy?
I think I'm trying to find the map. Is it on the Discord?
Yes, it's on the Discord.
I am not finding it. I can look for it more later, though.
Oh, yeah. My bad. It's on the general, it's on the, like, voice chat, and so it's, like, you have to go into the voice chat, and then you have to, like, go in and all that. So,
okay.
I can help, though, Gingy. Right now, you're with Minarith, right? You know, you were thrown to kind of the back of the carts, And so right
Mhm.
next to you is a dryad that just appeared out of the trees. There are about 2 owls, each about 15 feet away, that are circling the trees left and right. Shen's about 10 feet behind, still on his horse, and Valka and Adora are far up, shall we call it, north. And she's still there.
Okay. Is it possible? Well, I guess the owls are flying around in a circle, so I couldn't I was wondering if I could guiding bolt and kind of nick one and hit the other, but that doesn't work. I'll just guiding bolt one of the owls.
Excellent. Do you want to go for the one that looks more hurt because Valka hit, or the one that looks very fresh?
Let's go for the one that's more hurt.
Gotcha. Go ahead, roll to hit.
That wasn't great.
But a 14 will still hit the armor class on the giant owl.
Yay! Okay, so what is that? 46. Ooh.
Guiding Bolt's a hefty damage spell. I mean, it still costs a spell slot, but it is nice.
Ooh. That's nice symmetry.
14
to
Gingy dealing the exact amount of hit points left on this owl. You this golden glowing frosting gumdrop shoots out of your hand, ricochets straight into the owl's open cawing beak, and you watch as the owl starts kind of choking, trying to swallow this sugary confection, and falls, zooming and spiraling downwards until it hits the ground and is down.
Nice.
Excellent turn, Gingy. Excellent turn. That will bring us to the Dryad's turn. The first thing they're going to do, one of them is going to attack Adora. The other one is going to attack Minorith as they arrive. That is going to be... Here we go. Adora, one of them pulls out a wooden club that you can tell is like humming with nature magic. Does a 13 hit though? Oh my gosh. On a 13, swing and a miss. Unfortunately, does not even come close to colliding. The other one is going to go to hit Minorith. That is a 25 to hit Minorith. That will connect. This is going to deal 12 points of magical bludgeoning damage. Yes, magical bludgeoning. As the wood collides hard with the side of your armor, and you feel just that like very obvious bruise immediately forming, feeling very hurt. As that happens, both of the Dryads...
I actually have a quick question. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Did we have enough time to long rest since last session?
We have not.
Did we have enough time to short rest?
Not that we've had. The short rest would have had to have been the first thing on the road, and these are quote-unquote interrupting the short rest.
All right, then I'm at 3 hit points.
Yeah, Minorith, you are looking bad. Well, I should say, Minorith, Gingy, Shen, Valka, and basically everyone but Adora is at very low hit points, or about half. Adora is actually closer to full, but that is because Adora was almost killed by that shadow demon, and so a lot of healing magic went in after. The Dryads are going to, as they finish their attack, use one of their traits. Both of them are going to move to the trees and disappear. And let's see. Oh yeah, they just disappear. I will say, unfortunately, I'm looking at the official wording. I don't think this triggers opportunity attacks because it's very similar to what we would call Misty Step. Step in magically living tree. Yep. Both of these creatures disappear out into the now heavily falling snow and forest. As this
The one owl flying away from Valka trigger an opportunity attack for her, or did I just miss it?
It did not. It has flyby.
Had an ability we talked about.
Dang.
Yep, it's the flyby ability, which means that you cannot be provoked by attack of opportunities. That will bring us, though, to Shen. Shen, there is still the one owl that tried to attack you that is now quickly making its way all the way back to a tree. Or, of course, there could be checks made to try to look for, like, the other Dryads as they have now disappeared out into the wilderness.
And he's just going to be typing his into either the chat or texting it to me.
No
So he'll be
worries.
just a second while he's typing that out.
No worries. As you get that out, I will merely just say that Adora, you are going to be next in the initial order. You're on deck. Let's see here.
We sent it to the general on the voice chat.
Excellent. Oh, I see it. Okay. So, dismount, leap onto the wagon front, glide to the owl, slides out there. Excellent. That is easily your movement because that would just be 5, 10, jumping up and then jumping into the air. Yeah, that's your full movement. Just sliding off your mount, getting on the wagon, and then gliding over. In which case, go ahead, make an attack to slice at the owl. Oh no, a 9. Shen, you slip off, and as you jump onto the wagon, your feet are leaving the wagon's edge when you seem to realize the snow still starting to fall and feel your feet were not clawed into the wagon to give you that push off as you slide just enough, and so going through there you still whip out your weapon, the Guandao, but unfortunately you did not get the proper lift needed and barely miss on the creature. Rough stuff. You are right below it though, back into the melee range, so no worries of missing out. Let's see here. As you're just typing that out, Shen, no worries. Bonus action, yes, move to the tree line, dash, because you are below the owl, so you are able to dash your way over to that tree line. That will make Adora's turn. Yes, Adora, that is your turn with Valka on deck.
I gotta say, as the owl was flying away, did they provoke any opportunity attacks from me?
No. Well, because let alone the owls have flyby, they were also too far away from your reach.
Oh, okay. Hear me out. They're now kind of too far away, and I definitely don't want to risk anything now that I know some forces want the hilt. I'm gonna do my longbow again, but I'm wondering if was Shen able to make any damage on that owl?
Unfortunately, no. This owl does look pretty fresh, if we were to use the word.
So what's the most damaged enemy in range?
Just the owl, I would say, because one of them, I'll actually take him off the board, is already dead in the snow. There's only one owl that is still in range, shall we call it, that you'd be able to attack right now.
Hear me out. I am going to use my longbow. I'm going to shoot at the owl. And I'm going to go for non-lethal damage.
Gotcha. I like it. Go ahead and make the attack roll.
Sorry, the dice is going like 17 years long.
No worries.
Oh, hey, 17.
23.
Okay, so it's going to be a 23.
A 23
Yep.
will hit. Go ahead, roll damage as this
Do
owl...
I have plus?
You do not, unfortunately. I forgot
Okay.
that Gingy is in the back of the party right now.
Okay. All good. Alright, it is taking a little while to say how much damage. Now it's spinning on its side. Oh, sick! Max damage, 12.
Max damage. I was about to make a joke that, like, since we don't have Eleanor physically counting the dice and having to do math, the computer's generating it for you. The amount of time...
How dare you?
I'm sorry. I think I'm funny. 12 points of damage. This owl immediately looks horrifyingly hurt, as within a second, even though non-lethal, you are able to hit it right in that left wing joint, which really messes up creatures that need to fly. And Adora, this owl is already trying to, like, keep itself in the air when looking this badly injured.
Let's see, is it in about of a state where we could try to capture it?
I would say that would probably take an action at this point, like an animal handling action, because it's like, well, giant owls aren't like normal, so like what would be the vibe of capturing it? So like it might be, but I can't tell you that for sure unless someone were to take an action.
Okay, great. Then Adora's gonna suggest to the group, get that owl,
Get that owl. Get him. I like
Yeah.
it. That will make Valka's turn with Minorith on deck.
Cool. Did I mishear earlier, or did you say there are like more dryads in these woods that we can't quite see?
More that the two dryads that were here did use an ability and stepped into the trees back out into the woods.
Okay. I would like to do some shittery to give myself a better chance of, like, trying to see where they went.
Oh yeah, I like that. Go ahead, Valka.
So, here's my proposed shittery. On this map, I'm seeing what look like a bunch of, like, pine trees that we're riding along near.
Mm-hmm.
Could I, like, object interaction, like, reach up and grab a pine cone off a tree, and then for my action, can I cast light on it and huck it as hard as I can towards, like, where I last saw them and have it, like, fly into the woods and light up areas so I can, like, see better?
I will say this. That is a solid action. It's a solid use of using light, throwing it in, getting yourself some view. It will still be a perception check to find them, but I will let you know it will only be a DC 14 then.
Okay, so flat roll, but it's a low DC.
Yeah, flat roll,
So,
low
the
DC.
bless? Oh, I don't think I can do that even with bless.
Yeah, because bless is only going to get you up maybe to 9. Valka, you throw off a pine cone. It sheds light through, and before it extinguishes, you see the woods are sprawling around you. The storm now starting to pick up, this very much blizzard that is entering into the Black Forest, and you do not see any dryads out there.
Okay.
that will bring us to Minarith's turn, with Gingy on deck back at the top of the order, just after an owl. Minarith, what would you like to do?
It sounds like there are no enemies visible currently. Is that right?
The only enemy visible is an owl.
And how far away is it from me?
Actually, from you, it's only about 15, 20 feet, just a little bit in the air.
15, 20 feet. I don't, because I have used some spell slots, I don't have a ton of spells. You know what? Actually, screw it. I've got Firebolt as a cantrip. I'm just going to see if I can light it on fire.
I love it.
Why not?
And it's very much, it's like Adora goes, let's see if we can capture it, and Minarith just Firebolt. Go ahead, yeah, roll the hit.
Oh, come on. It almost rolled so well. Oh, that's a 12?
12, but you do.
Oh, wait, I have bliss. I have bliss. Yes.
Bless.
Freaking heavens. Okay. Well, I imagine it'll probably hit at this point. It is rolling. Okay, 15 total.
That, yes, for a 15 will hit the owl. Go ahead and roll damage.
Excellent. That is sad. 3 points of fire damage. Whoop-de-doo.
The owl is now officially looking bloodied, and albeit a bit scorched, as it whips around in the air. It is not loving its, shall we say, situation right now, as it doesn't have any allies still here. Nothing's going great. Minarith,
Could
as
I do something as an object interaction, potentially?
potentially, yeah. What's up?
If I don't use my movement at all, can I, because I'm very used to ropes, because we spend a lot of time on cliffs, my people. So could I potentially tie a quick just rope around my waist and the pommel of my saddle?
A rope around Joyce's pommel saddle. Yeah, I would allow that.
Cool, because I will fail a strength save if I need to do that.
For sure. I'm actually going to say, as you do that, Minarith, the owl does have to make a check, for lack of a better term, where it's going to make an insight check. And that is... Oh, actually, it does have some wisdom. 11 plus... That'll make it a 12. The owl is realizing its situation, flaps around, like, all of you are already, you know, arrows and daggers and spells getting ready to fly. The owl turns, goes a solid 120 feet as fast as it can, dashing and moving its way out of there. And we are out of initiative. As we come out of initiative, I will also say, all of you are, it's easy enough to realize that what really helped the initiative is Adora getting the, shall we say, for lack of a better word, the jump on the jumpers, that they did not look ready to stay for a real fight. This was supposed to be surprise round, ambushing, like, grab things and stuff. And so a lot of the fight was won before you even fought. But as we come out of initiative, is there anything people want to start doing, especially because I know a lot of people are hurt right now?
I wonder, do I have any healing potions in my bag? Would I've gathered any from being in this world yet?
Not yet, Adora, is what I would say to that.
May as well ask, but I also seriously doubt it. Was I given any potions by Osirantis?
No, Osirantis did not. Honestly, also maybe couldn't afford tons of potions for you.
No, that's totally fine. I was just like, it's worth asking.
Yeah.
I'd like to go around and start curing wounds to anybody, like all of the lowest hit point people.
Sure, for sure. It sounds right now the lowest hit point people are for sure Minarith, uh, yourself, Gingy, and Shen are still all really low. Minarith, of course, being horrifyingly low at 3 hit points.
Yeah, so definitely Minarith, and then was Shen the next lowest, or Volka?
I actually think Gingy, I think you're the next lowest, but then it would be Shen.
And I don't think I can cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Actually,
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can cast Cure Wounds on yourself.
As the resident cleric, yes, you can. Cleric, not playing a cleric, but a fighter this time, so I'm just sitting here like...
Yeah, Cure Wounds can be on yourself.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast it on people, not me, though, because I feel weird casting it on myself.
Oh, for
A
sure.
healer dies, we all die. Just pointing it out. Please take care of yourself, Gingy.
Gingy, you're the backbone of the team right now. Our lives are in your molasses-baked hands.
Okay, I guess I will Cure Wounds myself then.
Alrighty. Go ahead for sure. Cure Wounds yourself. Get those hit points.
And then Cure Wounds Minarith as well.
Gotcha. So just, and it works out, Gingy being right with Minarith still on the horse saddle, just kind of cure woundsing each other. As that happens, Valka, you see that the man that hired you, this Nordic man, kind of speaks up, and you see that kind of calls out to you guys, just, right, that's what we're paying you for, thank you so much, as Volrid kind of like, waves a hand at you guys, just in appreciation. It's that like, yeah, ambushes happen, thanks for earning your keep, and so he seems rather appreciative of it.
Wonderful. I say we can... Okay. Side note, Eleanor wants to heal up, but Adora would want to push on because Adora has no self-preservation skills.
Gotcha. I would say as a party, that can be a quick, like, you guys could take a short rest, just like, hey, what if we stop here? Because, I mean, you guys technically do set the pace even for the caravan. It's like, they're not going to go if their protectors don't feel like going yet. So you guys could take a short rest.
Should we do that?
I
Could
would
we
love
make
to take a short
also
rest.
that, like...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, just Gingy votes for the short rest. Adora's like, maybe do we short rest on the road? What was that, Megan?
Oh, I was gonna say if we could, I don't know if it's like survival checks or something, but is this like, if we find a good place to hunker down, will like the storm get better and then like give us better like visibility and movement on the road and stuff? Like, it could be helpful as well for the traveling, maybe?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make me, we'll call it a survival check, Valka. If you want to, like, gauge the storm, gauge your surroundings, we'll say for now.
I am not rolling well tonight, gang.
Oh, wait, hold on. Survival? I'm proficient in survival. Help action.
Oh, help action. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yay.
Oh, that's much better. That's a 17. Thank you so much.
17 is truly much better. You take a quick look, as well as, I should point out, because with Gingy's roll of 7, so Minarith and Gingy, you should have gotten back 10 hit points. Valka, the snow around you, while falling very thick right now, it is starting to really coat the land. You think you have a solid 2 options. Right now, the snow is in a way of, if you ride through, you might be riding into a blizzard, which would be horrifying to be making perception checks in, especially if you're supposed to be keeping track of this caravan. It could be a very smart option to stop for the night, even though it's like, well, we've only gone a couple hours. Yeah, but like in this weather, knowing there's people waiting for ambushes that know the woods, it could be a lot safer to just completely hunker down. The other option would be a bit of a, shall we call it, stressful opinion, booking it as hard and fast as you can to like push out the other side of the storm. And it's just that like, but you really wouldn't have a chance to rest, because it's like, if we can just ride fast enough, we could not only cut down a day or two, or I shouldn't say a day or two, half a day or so, but you would also negate the storm and maybe any ambushes, because it's just riding hard.
But do we think that the caravan could keep up with riding?
The caravan does what you guys say they do. Again, you're the protectors. You set the pace. You set the rules right now.
I think I would vote for caution. Especially because it's not like, yeah, we could ride hard and outpace the storm and everything, but then like on the off chance we do run into any sort of trouble, then like we'll be really worn down and unprepared for it. Like, so I think I rather would just be like, we all kind of hunker down for the night and hope the storm blows over and we can make a better pace tomorrow.
I agree.
Yeah, same. I agree.
Okay.
And obviously, like, our party, we can like keep watch, maybe like 2 at a time or something.
Mm-hmm.
So like we can still get to sleep, but yeah.
That's good.
For sure. And I think, yes, the majority of the party saying, yeah, let's take this opportunity and just really get ready for the night. What I would then say is this. It's easy enough. The caravan passengers, the 2 drivers, all the people inside can more or less fend for themselves. They've already brought the food they need, anything else to survive, tents and camp. Some of them just are going to probably sleep in the carts just with blankets on top. What I would like is just a party-wide survival check, just to get everyone ready to bear through the storm and have no ill effects, shall we call it.
Bears? Where? Bears? Bears?
Bears?
Bears?
Yeah, that's a dirty 20.
Alright. Let's hope that my agonizingly slow dice rolls well.
That's survival.
Yes, survival. So we've got Valka with the dirty 20, Minarith with a 14, Gingy and Dodora with 15s, and Shen can make his whenever necessary, but I will say we've already had a majority of the party get 15s or higher. So thankfully we're not in any compromised position. Your horses are going to be tied up. Again, each of you have, between the party, 4 horses, plus the 2 with the carts. And it's easy enough to get those ready. The drivers kind of know how to take care, shall we say, of their beasts. So there's not a lot of, like, maintenance you need to worry about. But as we get ready for the nightfall, all of you will be able to notice that the woods have started, though howling wind starting to really push through, there is now more or less a semblance of normality. Adora, what you noticed earlier, there is still now noise and natural movement of the flora and fauna. There's no ominous windfall and silence that accompanies it. That as you all are starting to turn in for the night, the night seems to be ready to come to you. What I would say is, if there is anything people want to do or say or roleplay before you tuck in for the night now.
I feel like Adora would try to initiate a conversation between the party members out of earshot of the caravan.
Mhm.
And be like, okay, game plan. Do we want to talk about what we all saw, the shadow people? Are we gonna acknowledge that? Gingy, you tend to have more magical powers in this world. Do you know anything about this?
Can I make an Arcana or?
This could be Arcana or religion. Yeah.
Okay, let me. Yeah, I was trying to think what else it could be.
Yeah.
They're about the same. I'm going to go with religion.
For sure.
Oh, that was almost really bad.
Oh, synthetic 20. Gingy.
It was almost in that one.
Oh my gosh. Been terrible. Yeah, in that one. Gingy, on a 17, you've heard of dark beings before. In fact, on a 20 religion, you'd be so far as to say those were just shadows and nightmares. Creatures that do exist. But what's really important on a synthetic 20, Gingy, that shadow demon creature that appeared, you've never seen anything like that before or heard of it from the Muffin Man.
Okay. I pass this on to my party.
Well, that's comforting. So on that note, Muffin Man, you were able to kind of, I wouldn't say schmooze is the right word. You were able to really convince that angel-looking dude. Do you know anything about that, or saying that the world is going to be purged and whatever? Because I mean, like, technically, I'm not from this world, but I kind of do care deeply about worlds and being purged. Um, I'm not super eloquent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yep.
And I would say for the free checks, both for Gingy, you've never heard of this before, and for Adora, you think that when the angel said world, a more proper term would be all of existence. Like, obviously, there's different worlds, but it sounded more finite than just, just this planet, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, okay. Then yeah, I guess the statement kind of still stands where it's mostly like, so what are we gonna do? Because I'm not saying we should like spit in the faces of deities, but purging everything without everything having a say in it kind of seems dumb, right?
Child, I hear you, but unless you've got a specific plan, I say we take every day one step at a time. Right now, we've got these people right in front of us. Then we can out. And when we get to the Temple of Odin, maybe we'll find some more wisdom.
Right.
But
right.
for now, I don't know what you are suggesting we do.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm normally just kind of a provoker person. I'm not really the plan person, which I know I'm supposed to be a plan person, but
Says who? Who tells you what you've got to be?
Adora stops for a second as she's trying to like respond like well, and like turns to people that like definitely aren't there, and right, back where I'm from, kind of like a whole chosen one kind of a thing, and kind of everyone expects me to know what to do all the time. Well, I mean, not everyone. I have some friends who get it and like help me plan, like Bo and Glimmer and I mean even Katra. But no, it's at least for most of my existence, I've just been expected to know and to lead, and I guess I haven't really liked it that much. But I don't really have a. I mean, I guess back there I didn't have a choice. It's kind of nice to not have to here. I don't know. I guess I'm just rambling.
So in my experience, I think that fate is usually quite friendly. Sometimes fate seems a little bit cruel, but you usually find that what it has in store for you is all for the better. So I think that what we can do right now is what Valka said, and to focus on who we can help in the moment, and that includes ourselves. And so I think as long as we have a good watch, we should all try and get a good night's sleep and be ready for the morning.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Excellent. What I would then say is, now that we kind of, like, again, it's that, like, there's not a lot we've learned yet, but as we get ready for bed, who would like to start the watch in particular? Just
I
because.
can do first watch just because I feel like I'm probably still on the higher end for hit points.
Excellent. Go ahead. Starting the watch, you can give me, Valka, a perception check. Because I'll say we do have to go all the way through the watch before we can really officially see if there was any long rest occurred, because you never know if something jumps at you in the night.
I have really bad perception, guys. I almost rolled really well.
A 4. Valka, the night seems pretty even. Like, you kind of see the dredges of the storm occur by the time your watch ends. It's that, like, okay, the snow's finished falling. It'll probably still be around the next day, but nothing crazy. As you do so, who would like to take next watch and next check?
I feel like Adora would
Yeah, go for
like
Adora.
to take the advice of these new companions, but she's definitely still on edge, so she'll definitely volunteer to take the second watch.
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Alrighty. Perception. And while we wait for the dice to roll, how is everyone's day? Good? Great.
Good, good.
Oh, we're going for our second bounce. And it's bounced again. Oh, we're going for another. Oh, 12.
12.
That's it.
Adora, the night passes without much incident. Everything seems rather normal, shall we say.
I like that tone in your voice, says Eleanor, not Adora, who thinks everything is okay.
Yeah, says me. Excellent. Who would like to take next watch?
Go next.
Excellent. Go ahead and make me your perception check.
Shoot. That was almost a 19.
And 19. Yeah, would have been nice.
No. Yeah, isn't that one?
You
Hey, I have a question.
yes, Adora.
I don't think Adora would have actually gone back to sleep. Can I give the health action?
Unfortunately, no, because it's
Dang.
it's the
Okay.
idea of, well, I could help, but it's like these actions aren't occurring right one after another. These are like the couple hours you spend during a watch in the night, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just want to see if I can try and
No, you're totally fine. It's a fair question, to be honest. I guess that brings us to Gingy or Shen. Would either of you like to take the next watch and subsequent perception check?
Right. Yeah, I am. I will speak for Tice in saying that I Gingy will take the next watch, and then Shen can take the last one.
Gotcha. Alrighty.
So I will roll my perception.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
21. Excellently done, Gingy. The night passes without incident for you as well. Finally, what I need is just one last perception check from Shen himself.
So I don't have his phone. I think his phone is dead. Can
Uh,
I just, we know what his perception is.
yes, yeah. If you roll, I know the perceptions.
Okay, I'll just roll a regular. I'm playing D20 without
Excellent.
anything.
Thank you so much.
Ah,
Well, 10's pretty middle of the road. I mean, but with a +5 perception, it does give us a 15.
oh, nice. I'm glad he has good perception.
Shen's got good perception. Shen's watch into the early morning as everyone starts to rise goes well, as indeed there have been no craziness, nothing that really messes with the world, shall we say. And all of you can now please make me a Constitution saving throw.
Sorry, guys. That's probably my bad.
No, that's good. I feel like we all kind of dropped the ball.
This is a saving throw. Important to keep in mind.
That
So
wasn't great.
you can still keep your roll. Just make sure to like add in if you're proficient with your con to keep that.
Yeah,
in.
I am proficient. I got a 10.
I am proficient. That's why I got 10. Good stuff. So yeah, so Gingy would have gotten a buff as well. And I can help quickly make Shen's con save.
Yeah.
Here we go. Shen's going to make a Constitution saving throw. I feel bad. I feel very bad. I shouldn't have rolled. I will say the DC is 5, so I don't feel too bad that Shen barely made it. But it does make sense when you're, up all night in the last hours of the watch.
Yeah.
Shen on the 5, everyone else getting above, all of you succeed, and therefore all of you may take the benefits of a long rest.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh, that's a cool mechanic. That's a really good idea.
Thank you. I will say there is some bad effects that might occur later on. Eventually it might be harder to take rest depending on certain factors. But DC 5, so everyone has gotten the benefits of a long rest right now. As dawn breaks, all
Can I
of
ask
you...
a question real fast?
Yes, you may.
Sorry, it's just a mechanical thing. Does D&D Beyond have like a rest mechanic, kind of like Prism Scroll does, or do you have to do it all manually?
Oh, it does have a mechanic. So either on the app or phone, up at the top of the screen, there is next to your name, next to what is called share. On a website, you will see short rest and long rest, which you can just press right there, and it will help you either roll hit die for short rest or long rest. Yeah, the campfire.
Thank you. I just didn't know where to look for it.
Yeah, and the campfire, because the campfire is the short rest, the moon is the long rest, which is just really fun. It's a fun mechanic that helps do it for you. All of you will get benefits of long rest. Everything's going great. I have to just make a bit of a luck check real quick for the party. Oh, that's actually very good on a 15. Plus the modifier behind the screen is a +2. On a 17, all of you awaken, and indeed Valka's thoughts and survival checks did come to pass as foreseen. All of you awaken to very much that I kind of have to brush the snow off the sleeping bags, get out of our little hidey holes where it's definitely still cold, and the snow is still here, about 4 inches of snow. It actually snowed quite a bit, but the day looks much brighter, and all of you think that you'll be able to ride rather swiftly to Odin's temple. And with that, this is where we are going to take a quick 5-minute break. We will take this 5-minute break, come back for our time at 8:50, and I will see you all in a moment. Thank you so much. as we come back into our journey, the road ahead stretches ever on, but now with a good night's sleep, a refill of arcana and magic, all of you find yourselves much more prepared for the road ahead. To which I will also say, as you begin this day, you notice that everything is going very, very smoothly. The caravan is ready to go before too late in the morning. All of the pilgrims and travelers are ready to make it to Odin's temple as soon as possible. And so, what I will say is, about midday, the weather is still actually very nice, and I will ask the party. You have a bit of a choice, kind of like what Valka had yesterday. If you so choose, you could try to just start hot stepping it towards the temple, which might be less about stealth and more about just what we would call animal handling to ride hard, or you could do kind of like yesterday, but on a different note, a much more stealthier approach, or shall we call cautious, in where you keep, shall we say, a normal pace, but a lot more perception checks.
I'm down
Because I feel so suspicious that everything's going so well. But Minruth is probably just like, oh, the heavens are smiling upon us, and is happy to do whatever.
I feel like Adora's plan is to ride fast. You know, animal handling kind of a thing.
Yeah, I have no objections about riding hard. We're all rested.
Yeah.
For sure. Shen agrees with this. I would just say, Gingy, do you have any qualms? Any like, oh no, we gotta be cautious?
Nope. I'm good with.
Yeah. In which case, what I will say is, I need.
Although I will remind you, I am periodically using my hunter sense just to make sure we don't like run into the dragon haphazardly.
No worries. I am not
Every
going
mile
to
or
be.
so, I'll trigger it to
In-
make sure I know where it is.
I am in no way going to be a mean DM that, yes, unless I really somehow knock you out, you cannot be surprised by any dragon on this trip.
Thank you.
No worries. As you all then ride, I would like a group animal handling check, but Gingy, seeing as how you don't have to actually ride one of the horses, we will wait and see what everyone gets, and you would be able to offer a help action in terms of like you will ride with someone who maybe needs the animal handling check out of your party.
Okay, I'm happy to do that.
Hey, August, does an at 13 do anything special for an animal handling check?
Actually, it will for this specific check. Alrighty. So far we have two 15s and an 8 for Shen. But let's let Adora make her animal handling check, just to see if what the common consensus is.
Hurry, it's rolling.
I know, you're totally fine.
1, bonk.
Fine,
Two,
Eleanor.
bonk.
We're still waiting on Gingy's.
Well, yes, we're seeing if who Gingy gives the check. So
I don't like
Never mind.
Yeah, because I'm giving this help.
Yeah, I think it sounds like Gingy, if you want to give the help action to Shen just on the 8, because that will help maybe bring the DC average above 10 right now is kind of the goal.
Yeah. So do you want to roll for him or do you want me to?
It looks like Shen's able to roll it, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Alrighty. In which case, as you are all riding through, the snow is starting to melt in some places. Again, the Black Woods are for lack of a better term, a bit of a trap for that warmth that we normally find ourselves in the wooded areas. It's not like our woods around us. But as you are heading through, snowfall is starting to crunch under your horse's hooves. The carts are rolling through. Thankfully, it didn't snow hard enough to obscure any of the path, and so, while maybe not as easygoing of a path, by riding hard and making your way through the Black Forest, you will be able to cut out a large portion of the journey, and I will say, decently enough, safely. Oh, that's odd. Shen's animal handling check just disappeared on me. All right. I will say, you all did. It looks like if Shen was rolling, as long as it's not nat 1, I think you're fine for now. For now. As you make your way through the woods, you know that within at least another no way Shen just re-rolled the animal handling check and it was a natural one.
No.
Can I give the help action because I'm proficient?
That was the help action from Gingy. Oh,
It's okay. It's okay because it's to make it at advantage, not disadvantage. So
I
it takes the
know.
5 plus 3.
It's still an 8.
We can use bless. Or I mean
It's
guidance.
today, but you said as long as it wasn't a nat 1, we were fine.
I know, it's just too
Yeah.
funny that the lower of the two was a nat 1 to me somehow. It just really funny in my mind. I guess to me it's more like for some reason Shen can't ride a horse but Gingy can ride a horse is the anyway. It's kind
Okay,
of
but it's like physically, I see how a peacock would have trouble riding a horse, and Gingy probably, as that like sweet little cookie cleric, can just like connect with the horses and like true animal handling of like, please do what I want.
yeah, I see it.
And please don't eat me. I know I'm made of sugar, but horses like sugar.
Yeah, it's more just that like keep the horses from eating Gingy right at the same time. On an 8, what I will say is you ride hard, but it's that you won't be able to reach the temple by nightfall. And so the choice now to the party is you'll be able to ride hard enough that if you so choose, you could try to travel through the night and make it to the temple like middle of the night, or take another night, try to long rest, just like let's keep ourselves going strong until we need to ride again, if that makes sense.
I feel like the riding strong was a good tactic for the day. Like, hey, sorry, I have a real life animal being a dunce. You're not a dunce, I love you. But I say we should sleep to keep our strength.
If it were just us, I would say maybe ride through the night, but like, I don't want to take a couple wagon loads of like villagers through the night because it's not like, it's like when it's nighttime, it'll be worse visibility. Like, it'll probably be harder to like take a fast pace safely with the horses and everything. And B, just like normal people, like probably don't have our limits. I guess I would vote we like stop for the night.
For sure. And Shen agrees with that sentiment. It's that let's not push ourselves. If that is...
I think I have to agree. I'd like to not.
Mm-hmm.
Gingy likes to play it safe.
Yes.
He has quaky little frosting knees.
What I would say then is there's no need for survival checks. Again, we're not currently in a storm, unlike yesterday. You have then the ability to just more or less set up camp where you feel like you want to. And I would then ask, Everyone just to make me another set of Constitution saving throws.
So just con saves, or was there something before that you wanted?
Just Constitution saving throws.
And in case it makes a
DC
difference.
didn't suddenly get way higher.
Hold on, hold there. There we go.
No. That's so bad.
Gingy got a 6. Everyone sleeps rather well, except Gingy. I have a question. What would be Gingy's worst nightmare? And I mean that quite literally.
I think, honestly, just being like captured and eaten and like disregarded as a living human being, a living cookie being.
Yeah.
And probably like with some weird stuff with like Mongo and the Muffin Man. Some horror stuff there because there's trauma in losing my entire family.
Yeah. I agree, Gingy. I think very much the nightmares are held in that you see yourself being dunked over and over into that cold glass of milk, feeling your body crumble away from you, seeing Mongo and all the others around that you feel so alone, seeing your family being eaten and torn apart from you, that just as the last of your little frosting eyes dissolve away, you awaken with a start, Gingy. You did not get the benefits of a long rest, and you have 1 point of exhaustion this evening. But important to note, since you did already have the long rest, you still have all your spells then and everything. It's just more you have a point of exhaustion right now from not being able to sleep through the night.
Okay. Where do I add to the point of exhaustion?
The point of exhaustion is... Oh, right, because on D&D Beyond, it's underneath the character sheet where you see it has, like, hit points and everything. You should be able to go down and it should just be right there under conditions and defenses. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, have they changed where points of exhaustion go?
Oh, I got it.
Excellent.
I think.
Cool. No worries. So Gingy, you have the point of exhaustion. And it's important to note that point of exhaustion will immediately be gone the second you take another long rest. As you all awaken, Odin's temple lies just a few hours away. Getting on the road, you will notice that you've now started coming more out of the Black Forest at the point of egress, where the paths are now much more open. Not just yourselves, but other persons and creatures that come through the woods have passed this way, making even a path so icy and cold through the forest very easily trekkable. As you all approach out then of the woods, the first thing that you all will be able to see is the now much more open landscape, where out towards the sea you see that the ground is very dry and cracked, now covered in frost, not quite unlike the frozen waste, but that far to your west, A long ways off, you see a brilliant city of Ilvenor, this grand kingdom of the northern humans that live in these northern lands, as well as stretching out more northward of where you are, a grand temple that has been built out of the very polished granite and the ice and frost that seem to creep up alongside it to Odin's temple. Now, the difference between the temples here that maybe some of us have seen, this temple is not like what we would call that very Grecian temple with pillars, but you can tell that built out of the ground itself, that stones brought in, that large stone steps building up almost like a pyramid on three sides come up to this stone point where grand arches lead its way from left and right, making these 5 jagged juts of rock that perhaps were naturally here that they've carved around. On the way up to the temple steps, all of you can see that there are giant statues of the Nordic gods that line the path like a procession, or like stone saints in a cathedral. The first ones, of course, that you see are the, shall we call them, classic Nordic gods that we see. There is statues of Thor, Frey, Heimdall, Balder, even Freyr, Freya, and you will note that you even see the statues like those of Loki and Hel, that, though maybe not the more popular or well known, that it makes sense, a temple to Odin, this king of the Nordic gods, holds small statues to each. As you approach these statues, each of them rise close to hundreds of feet in the air, and that each and every one are almost like miniature offerings and altars to these specific gods. That perhaps those that come from Ilvenor who cannot brave the trip down to Thor's temple across the frozen waste instead come here, and you can see that there are offerings, large braziers of fire where burnt offerings can be met, or even offerings of weapons and wealth that have been placed at the feet of these impressive god statues. As you all approach then, I would love if everyone in the party could make me a quick perception check as you approach.
Don't worry, mine will get there soon.
Not great.
Yeah, not great. Minarith also rolling with a natural 1. Yikes. Valka with an 18 and Adora with a 5. As you approach the Temple of Odin, there are a lot of people here, and before too long, all of you will notice that your caravan has started slowly pulling up. That everyone in the caravans with you seem almost ready to be done. In fact, Volrid is going to approach Shen and Valka, kind of like, I don't want to say the leaders, but the people that he made the initial deals with that he's been talking to. Shen and Valka, you see that Volrid approaches. I thank you all very much. We're about to take the pilgrims over to a small encampment a bit southeast of here, but of course, if you're willing to stick around for maybe a week or two, we're going to be taking another party back through the Black Forest, but we might be here a while. I don't know your plans, so to speak.
I don't think we know our plans either. But we'll keep in touch.
Adora kind of that, like, yeah, we'll keep in touch. And yeah, I'll let Shen, you're typing that out. I will also answer that question, Shen. The other patrons, what you kind of see is there's not a lot for other patrons or pantheons here. Uh, and we are receiving direction from the gods, will act accordingly. Volrid takes this, we are receiving direction from the gods, we will act accordingly. And seems to take it very well, as, again, even though he is leading this group of pilgrims here, this may be a bit of a normal job for him. You can tell that he probably has enough of that faith in these Nordic gods to agree with your words. He kind of gives you that half shake to each of you, to Adora, Minarith, Valka, Shen, and Gingy. And in shaking your hand, just, well, may Odin bless you with insight and wisdom. And of course, stay safe out there in the woods no matter where they take you. As he is going to lead his group off to these small little tents and encampments where it seems to be like a rotation of persons that come through when visiting the temple. In terms of other patrons that question Shen, that kind of... Yes, Valka.
Did he also, like, pay us?
Oh, yes. That is the important. Everyone will gain 40 gold pieces, for sure.
Excellent.
As you all earned your keep, so to speak. I almost forgot about that. I was yeah, Valka, you track down Volrid before he leaves, get the money for everyone. And so everyone will be able to be paid. What you can also tell is that out of the gods here, the patrons seem to be like more or less what we would call the Aesir of the Nordic gods. So like Odin, Thor, Frigg, Balder, Heimdall, Hel, Loki, are the major clans, what we would know as the major gods. There doesn't seem to be a lot of minor gods like the Vanir, or just, I shouldn't say minor, other gods. Everything here, though, seems to be more or less a grand homage to the leader of the Aesir, and that others have just taken up offerings and pilgrimage to some of these other statues, maybe out of convenience or even out of respect of, yes, you're the gods, and what better place to honor you than here with Odin. Upon arriving to the temple, it is about afternoon when you all would arrive. It is still very cold, of course, but thankfully there's no harsh weather. And so this is where I'll ask is the party, now that you've made it to the temple, what would you like to start by doing or looking for or seeing?
I kind of want to make an Arcana check in the form of like trying to see if I could read any of the inscriptions on the walls.
Oh, I like that, Adora. Yeah, I'd say that's definitely Arcana check.
All right.
Is religion still wisdom-based, according to you, August?
Yes, I say that if you so choose, religion can be wisdom-based. Just because, in my personal opinion, religion is very much based on someone's wisdom and mind, not so much of their intelligence, because if you're going by intelligence, just call it history.
Yeah,
11. Adora, it's more that, like, the language here seems to be a lot more of common, like, and not even, like, a good common. This is, like, ancient Nordic common, almost what we would think of with a lot of ancient runes and symbols of the Vikings. And so, Minarith, very similar. There's a lot of that, like, it's not like it's unreadable, but you would be spending a lot of time just trying to get maybe a couple words off of these big...
Yeah. It's technically an 8 because it's wisdom rather than religion.
Gotcha.
Rhea, please be quieter. Sorry. But, yeah.
No, that's an excellent clarification. As you see, there are, of course, these large statues to each of the gods, and far north, again, maybe like another quarter mile, is this large, very like Nordic hut, but made of stone looking structure that all of you can tell is probably like maybe the official temple, even though they have the statues to each of the Aesir gods outside. The official like building, shall we say, of Odin is up ahead.
Yeah, I think I would want to head to the temple proper because we all kind of agreed like we wanted like Odin's domain specifically.
Mm-hmm. Valka starts heading. While heading, you will notice there are a lot of people here. This is not a light temple. There are pilgrims and clerics coming in and out every which way, as many people are either coming for their daily offerings, coming for their daily duties. But within no time, all of you can start walking forward to kind of look around. The image that you see on the large stone doors to the temple seems to be that of the world tree. All of you would, again, very passive knowledge. Nordic mythos and religion speaks of the realms being connected by a tree, you know, the world tree that has the 9 realms in it, that the gods move from, that we are simply in what's called a Midgard. You will notice, though, that this world tree seems to point out and that they're, unlike what we would call in our world, it is just a tree. There doesn't seem to be any, like, other things around it. Maybe what we would know very metagamey, so there's supposed to be a serpent in the branches, or creature, or a serpent in the roots, creatures in the branches, even thoughts of the world. It seems very just like the tree itself. As you all approach, what would everyone like to do now that they've made it more to the what we'd call it temple itself?
I feel like that Adora, for the longest time, has really been trying to avoid. I wouldn't say avoid trying to tap into Shira. I guess it's like, I guess not tapping into Shira. Basically, I'm going to be making a religion check, but I'm going to add my wisdom, which will be +2. So it'll just be +1 whatever I roll. So
Yeah.
somebody can go while my dice rolls.
Yeah.
Is there like a vulva we can talk to at this temple?
Go ahead. Make me, Velka. I guess we'll call this a investigation.
Can I have advantage?
I'd say, yeah, if someone in the party wants to help. I'd say Adora probably can't because doing stuff. Does anyone else have proficiency in investigation?
Can I help if I'm a cleric?
No proficiency.
Oh yeah, I'd say Gingy, you probably could, being a cleric. I think that would count in this sense.
Yeah, so I'll give the help.
Thank you. I just rolled really badly the first time.
You're good.
That's only 2 better. Oh my gosh.
Oh no. Adora, you are sitting there trying to feel out. Nothing really comes back to you in this moment.
Great.
As Gingy and Valka, you kind of both like start looking around, like, is there a vulva, you know, the seeress of the temple, what we would call like kind of the matron, or owner's kind of a not a good word either, but you know, the closest thing we could maybe assume. Looking around, you are not seeing anyone who fits any of these descriptions, unfortunately. And in fact, a lot of this is there's just what seem to be your regular acolytes, priests and priestesses, and pilgrims that are coming to pay homage. What I would actually like then is everyone who wants to can make me an insight check. now that they're here. And Shen, go ahead and make me your perception check to look for someone official to talk to.
The dice hate me tonight.
These digital dice have never liked me. Well, I mean, besides the nat 20 for the surprise today, not really.
Shen got a 22, though, on perception check. That's definitely going to help.
Okay, that is like my third 7 in a row I've rolled. August, can I roll in real life, please?
No.
There's no way statistically I get a 7 and a 7 and a 7 on all my checks.
Fun fact, that is how statistics work, though.
That's off.
I know, I'm sorry. As you are all looking around, kind of making these insight checks, Shen, after a moment, you see out of the corner of your eye a rather small old woman that seems to be taking note of the group of you. And it's easy enough to realize that this woman looks, shall we say, official. You can tell that she is draped in these fine gray robes, that she has a bit of ashen makeup on, something that not a lot of people here have, and that she has just been observing you all for some time. For the rest of the party, as Shen kind of notices this, I'll let you think about what you want to do with that, Shen. All of you making these insight checks, you think back to when, of course, you all started out on this, shall we say, quick adventure, for lack of a better term. It was that, well, we had a vision, we have questions, and we're looking for, maybe knowledge of astrological signs and events. And so Minarith was the one who suggested, well, if we go to a temple, this might give a lot of help. For the rest of you, it's that, and also, supposedly, Odin is a god who has knowledge, who has help. What I would say, though, is Valka, on your 17, what will probably click in your mind, Odin never got knowledge for free, though. It's very famous, even for those that, because none of you are a member of this Nordic religion with their pantheon, it's very common knowledge of what Odin had to do to gain knowledge. Or rather, even the metaphorical what he did to gain knowledge.
Mm-hmm. So that then begs the question, is there a normal sacrifice routine of hey, come to the Odin and slaughter a cow or whatever? Or is this hey, as a player, think of something to try?
In even coming close to answering that question, I answer that question, if that makes sense.
Okay, is there an altar here?
What I will say is we cut back, Shen walks over this smaller woman, saying, "Good morning, madam. We are involved in the fate of the world. Will you enlighten us?" The woman looks up at you, Shen, and you see that her eyes seem almost milky white, as if she is herself blind. Those cataracts that have grown over the years, obscuring whatever iris and pupil were there. But as the woman looks at you, she seems to look directly into your eyes, though by all physical accounts she should be blind. As she does so, you see she makes not a word and speaks not even a sound, but instead turns and starts walking towards the right side of this large stone temple. And I would say, Shen, as you do this, the rest of the party would now be able to see this, as Shen had this interaction and this little lady is just now walking away towards a side of the temple right now. Shen immediately starts following, of course. Pulling back, of course, though, from her blindness. Shen, you start following. Would anyone else in the party like to follow?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'd like to follow.
Yeah. I'll try to do it respectfully, though. I'm not gonna like charge after an old blind lady, but I'll follow.
For sure. You follow in, and with Shen kind of leading, with all of you very though close behind. The small woman leads you to the side of the temple where you will be greeted by an interesting carving. Now, I will do my best to describe it, but there is a lot. As you see on the side of the temple, there is etched into the stone a very large battle scene. Now, the first thing, of course, you would all notice is what looks to be a group of chariots that are descending from the left down to the bottom right. Across the sky of this design are lightning and thunder and clouds. Leading the charge of the chariots is a figure pulled by a singular horse that has way too many legs that any horse should have, and they seem about to leap into the jaws of a rather large wolf. The wolf, of course, is snarling, but right below the wolf, and you can tell what makes up the very bottom of this stone canvas, is a gigantic serpent. The serpent, of course, is carved around in such a way that both the tail and the head seem to make their way from the bottom up to the top of the mural. And that the carving of it is that the serpent is about to swallow something. It almost looks like it's swallowing its own tail, but as its mouth is open, you see that this impressive stone carving now stands before you all. The woman turns, and in kind of that like flash before you really know what's going on, Shen, the woman has grabbed your hand and very much like in the past has plucked a feather from one of your wings and is now going back to the stone carving. All of you watch that as she puts the feather right down in front. She kind of stops, reaches up, and she places her hand very gently on one of the large scales of the serpent at the base. As she does so, though, you see nothing happens immediately. It doesn't look like anything immediate maybe occurred. But instead, she stops, takes a moment, and is going to turn back. And in another flash, before you know what's going on, Gingy, she has plucked one of your gumdrops from your chest and is placing it back with the feather.
Excuse me?
I see this lady taking stuff, and I immediately grip my sword tighter.
As this happens, Gingy, you say, excuse me, it's almost as if she's
Actually,
gone.
I'm gonna scream, not the gumdrop button!
Not the gumdrop buttons! As this happens, it's, Gingy, you think it's like, is the woman also deaf? Because, like, she does not even give the slightest hint that there was noise. But she stops, places the button, and just as before, puts a hand on the serpent, takes her hand off, turns back, and she starts making her way up to Velka. Velka, she quickly plucks a scale off of your armor. And Shen, yes, Shen reacting to that pain, of course, but not protesting. Plucks the scale from you, Velka, places it by the feather and gumdrop. Comes back, Adora. The old woman looks up at you. You see again blind eyes staring right into yours. You grip your hilt, and you think you swear this little old lady half smiles, and instead of your sword, suddenly leaps up and just yanks a fistful of hair off of your head.
Oh, ow! Oh!
Goes back, places it. As these four little things have been set down, She stops and turns and looks at you, Minareth, and you notice that she doesn't take anything from you, but instead is just looking at you.
I'm a little bit sad, and I tuck the hair that I already plucked back into my pocket.
Sorry, what was that? My end cut out just a little bit.
You're good. I was already holding out hair that I'd plucked ready for her, so I'm just going to sadly put it back into my pocket.
You do so, and the woman just kind of looks at you.
Is there anything you need from me, wise woman?
She stares deeply into your eyes, doesn't blink, doesn't say a word.
I think Minareth would probably just slowly approach her and wait. Actually, I think I would hold out my hand just in case she does need anything from me, but I'll just wait for her to do something. Allow me to make another religion check.
Go ahead and make me a religion check, because you hold out your hand. She doesn't do anything immediately.
Okay. Okay, so with my wisdom bonus instead of intelligence, that's an 18.
On an 18, everyone has given something except you, Minareth. And I will say, or rather how I will phrase this, you think she's not asking you to give up something. More like she is waiting for you to do something.
Interesting. I think that I would go up to the pile of offerings, for lack of a better term, and I would cast Sacred Flame at the statue, because for me it's supposed to manifest kind of as a silver light more than it is any sort of fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would just do that on the area with all the offerings.
As all these little offerings erupt into silvery light and fire, you watch as Minareth, in doing so, your little sacred flame catches a hold of these items, and the fire begins to slowly snake upwards and onto the stone mural itself. The fire immediately twists and wraps itself through the snake, up and down the scales and coils, towards the side, slowly creeping like vine upwards towards the head and tail, and as the fire reaches up towards the open snake's maw, a singular thread of your holy fire, dripping silver, slowly descends from the fang of the serpent down into the middle of the mural, right in between the Nordic gods and the gigantic wolf. And as it descends, you watch as your fire, this liquid now almost of mercury, takes shape and forms into a crescent moon. And as the crescent moon forms, dum dum, a large crack suddenly appears, perfectly vertical all the way up and down the mural, and the stone slowly swings open to reveal a hallway leading inside, about 10 feet by 15 feet in height.
Oh. That's neat. That's pretty cool.
if she's not going in immediately, I'm going to assume that she's waiting for us to go in first. So I'm happy to go.
Minarith, you turn.
I was literally about to say that. Yeah, I'm right behind you.
The lady is completely gone.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
Let's go.
Can I roll like a religion check on that? Like, was that a god?
Sure, make me a religion check.
can I make a...
Or I guess insight or whichever one.
Anyone, yeah, make a religion or insight, whichever one you want to make.
Yeah, I think we'll do religion.
Insight's a +2. Well, technically, religion would be a +2 if it's... Yeah.
Got an 18 religion.
18. 18 for Shen as well. Very good.
We're such a pious bunch.
Good. 15 for
So
Minarith.
not 13, but actually a 17 because
How was
it's
that
wisdom,
terrible?
not intelligence.
Ooh.
So
Gingy got a solid 22. And
Hey, August, I need to send you a picture, and I need to ask if I can roll again. Because there's no way that was the flat number.
go ahead, put the screenshot into the chat. I'll decide. As you all watch, I think for Shen and Valka, on your religion and insight checks, Shen, you don't remember seeing this woman appear. That you saw her watching you, but you never really noticed when she appeared.
Okay.
For Gingy, as you look around, Gingy, you smell a slight acrid smoke in the air. And don't know what to do with that. That is a 2, though, Adora. I can see it's just a bit scawampus right now, it looks like.
But there's no way that's the flat number, though.
I'll say go ahead and re-roll, but there's not a lot
Thank
that
you.
can be redone, if that makes sense. Like, at this point, there's
Okay.
not a lot to be found in terms of information.
I know. I feel vindicated. Because there's no way. It's like, oh, let me pick the side number from the number that's actually up right now.
It'd be even funnier if you got a nat 1, though, right now.
I would cry. Oh my gosh. It was right next to a nat 1.
It's an 8.
Uh-huh.
All of you, though, as the woman is gone, the pathway has appeared. You each travel slowly down the steps. The hallway starting to descend lower and lower. The steps are each almost 8 feet in length. They're not steps, more of just slightly lowered platforms that take you every so often an inch or two deeper underneath this temple. Before too long, all of you will notice that the door behind you has indeed closed. And I will have to ask, does anyone have dark vision right now?
I might. Let me just, double check. It's been a long time since I played Nazamar.
I think I do.
Go ahead and check. Shen doesn't.
I don't. I do.
I do. I have dark vision.
Gotcha. So, currently, Valka and Adora have dark vision.
Dark vision.
You do as well? Okay, so that's a good 3 members of the party. That's actually very, very nice. After some time, you will find yourselves entering in after only maybe 10 or so minutes. The hallway immediately stops and expands into a large circular room. The ceiling is about maybe 50 feet high, still rather large. And in the very center of this room, I'm going to send a picture to the group chat.
Ooh.
Okay, 1 second. Sorry, put that in a different chat. Where did it go? Well, I will send it in a moment. I'm not gonna waste time looking for it. What you do see, though, is a large pool of water that extends almost 35, 40 feet to either side from its center. The water seems completely and utterly opaque, but still is somehow in that almost turquoise coloring, where it's as if you could scoop through and you would expect to find a gelatinous liquid. As the pool sits in front of you all, you will be able to see and realize that large branches made of either wood or even metal, depending on their coloring, extend from far across either side of the room and make their way to above the pool of water itself. As you see this pool of water with the branches around, what do people want to do now that they're in here?
Is this like legit Mimir's well?
Go ahead and make me a religion check, Valka.
Can I make a religion check to see if I could go into it? Or if I should go into it?
I'd say that's just an insight check. Almost what we would call a common knowledge kind of check. Do I jump in?
That's a dirty 20 on whether this is Mimir as well.
Valka, have you anything to, say it isn't?
Woo!
17.
No idea what that's supposed
Can I
to
drink
mean.
from it?
What was that for, Minarith?
Sorry, I was just saying I have no idea what that's supposed to mean, like the significance of someone's well. Do you want to explain a little bit to the group?
Yeah, Velka, what would you say?
Mimir, I want to say, was like one of the like oldest like eldritch giant type things, and was this like figure of like was supposed to like give you wisdom, and that was why like Odin went through the whole thing to like designs have to be allowed to drink from the well, like, and that's how like Odin gained all his wisdom.
Oh.
So I'm like, if this
Are
is
we
like
supposed to go
the
in?
pool, like that would be wild for a bunch of mortals to just like get to ever even see it.
Are we supposed to go in?
I'd say
I rolled a 17, by the way, August.
Well, a 17 a door, it's like, if you go in, you don't know if you can get out. It's not like, oh, maybe I could go in. What would happen getting out?
Hey, then something I would like to try. I wanted to, before the woman disappeared, I've been planning on asking her to bless my tarot cards, but clearly that's not an option anymore. Could I potentially dip the deck just the slightest bit into the water?
I have to... Nope, something's just going to happen. Minarith, you head over to this well of water and take out your tarot cards. As you place them at the water's edge and slowly dip them, something seems to grab hold and is sucked completely into the water out of your grasp.
You just lost your cover.
My cards!
Can
I see anything?
No, but Minarith, what do you want to know?
do I want to know?
Yeah. What kind of questions do you have?
A lot, but I think what I would start with is probably what I really want to know about the moon, and why it turned red. I mean, I imagine it has something to do with the end of the world, but so then I guess my most important question would be, what must we do to to redeem the world? I mean, that sounds ridiculous, but yeah.
I'm sending you a personal message based on what you, for lack of a better term, what you gave. This is what you get.
Thank you.
And I sent it through Discord, just so you know. All of you watch Minorith's car just vanish before her eyes, and all the rest of you are still standing here. What are some of the other things people want to do?
Moonrith, why are you looking like that? What's going on?
The Avatar is dead. Who is the Avatar?
What?
I know that sounds ridiculous, but
Actually,
that is what she's saying.
I thought you were messing me. Like, no, actually?
Oh, actually.
Oh, so there needs to be a new avatar, is what you're saying? So we should figure out, how do you get an avatar? Get an avatar? I don't know. I'm workshopping, you guys.
What do I have to roll for it to not be metagaming for me to, like, clarify? I'm pretty sure that just means, like, the avatar of the moon, whatever, like, physical body he had or whatever.
Oh, no, Valka, I think the messenger told you that this was happening. I think that's not metagaming. I think you could kind of piece that in.
Didn't want to, like, yeah. So we're all on the same page of, like, what the avatar means. It's whatever happened to, like, the aspect of the moon angel we just met.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't tell us anymore what we're supposed to do about it, but...
Yes, for sure. Shen, that is excellent. The light in this cavern seems to be coming from the water itself. So it's what we would call dim lighting, but it's enough that you can easily see everything in this room as long as nothing drastic changes.
Hey, I have a question for everyone. This is Adora talking to everyone. So apparently if you put something in the water, like if you give something up, you get knowledge. And apparently back in the forest, people were trying to get the Sword of Power, and because I can't really turn into Shira anymore, I'm kind of wondering if I should use that to, I don't know, see what we should do.
Absolutely not. Like, frankly, if you are saying the sword... Oh, sorry. The sword has so much to do with who you are, even if it's who you were, that is all part of you. Give something up like that.
Okay. I just didn't know if we needed to do anything.
I do see the logic, though. Giving it up almost for safekeeping, by the gods.
Yeah, I mean, the sword kind of found me, and I don't know. Normally there's this kooky old lady named Madame Raz who helps me through this, and oh my gosh! And can I make an insight check?
It's not
August?
Raz. It's not Raz.
It's not Raz.
No.
Okay.
Free check.
Okay. Forget.
Free check.
Okay. Free check. Thank you. thought I was on something. Okay. Okay. So maybe as like a last resort or something, because I want to know how to turn into She-Ra, because it's kind of, now that I'm saying it out loud, I was gonna say it's the only way I really feel useful, but you guys haven't seen She-Ra and you guys don't care, so I guess that's nice. I don't know. I gotta ask, and this is Eleanor, because Eleanor has not seen the series in over 3 years. Would there be any other important or significant items on her that is not the sword?
No, not really.
That's all I really have to offer. August, can I make a... Would it be an insight check or a religion check to see if I should put the sword in?
It's kind of like with Megan earlier. I can't give you an answer because even that would be an answer.
No, I hate you. Okay. Hear me out. I'm gonna make a religion check. So technically that's a 16 is a wisdom.
Okay. On a 16, Adora.
I mean, it's the highest religion check I've rolled this entire campaign. Wink, wink. Please help.
The
No, do what Sam does. Just like roll a die and like set your own DCs for what I'm gonna decide. Like anything above a 10, I chuck the sword in, right? Like.
Yeah, yeah.
what I would say is, I know Adora is making this check. While you're deliberating that, Elle, is there anything else people want to either put in, ask, maybe make checks on? Because this is kind of big. There's a lot here.
This is gonna sound dumb, maybe, but I almost feel like Falco feels like she's already like gotten whatever answer she needs, just because like when we were looking at the like um wall carving before the doors appeared, it very much was all the like Ragnarok iconography, and so Falco's kind of in that headspace of like, I guess this is like happening, right? So it's very much that as this Viking, it's that, yeah, then just like keep making contracts and stuff like we did today, eventually die in battle or like end up fighting in the end of the world and like go to Valhalla and like see my husband and kid again, like just kind of get ready for the end. So it's almost like she does feel more centered and it's like, what's left to ask? The world is ending.
That's fair.
Like I know what to do based on my religion.
That's dark, but I like it.
So it's not like she got super excited when she saw the well and she kind of realized like, what else do I need to know?
No, I like it. I like it. Shen's just kind of mostly watching what everyone else is doing. So
I
what
think
yeah.
we might have one last question. And if the pool needs something else, then I would probably give up some of my weaving yarn and like, or give it all if that's what's necessary. I would then wonder if the end of the world, quote unquote, or Ragnarok or whatever is inevitable, what can we do to revive the world after that. Because it may not be we avoid or stop the end of the world, but more just restart it. What Minareth is thinking.
Okay. Like, if there's supposed to be bad stuff, can we... What's the end game post credits, right? Like, what can we do to fix it?
Kinda, yeah.
Go ahead and make me an insight check. What I'll ask...
Hey, I have a question.
Yes.
Before we go to the results of my roll, I kind of want to ask Gingy / Rebecca if she has guidance.
Let me look really quick.
Yeah, take a look. Because I'll say, and then it's also what Gingy's also thinking or maybe wants to do. While you look for that, Gingy, Minareth, on a 22, you are asking a big question. It's going to take a lot more than even all of your yarn to get the answer you probably need, let alone want.
I'm going to keep feeding things to the pool until I get an answer, I think.
Now,
Like,
here's
just
what I will say.
keep going.
To kind of
Okay.
give a bit of the mechanics, and I will be, maybe cruel's not the right word, but a little more cynical. You're going to give a lot of stuff, Minareth. It's just possessions at this point. And on your 22 insight, it's also going to couple with the only reason you maybe got something because of the tarot cards were because they do mean more to you. That even though they're just physical objects, they did have enough of meaning. That this pool can take more than just physical objects, and if anything, physical objects are probably, shall we call it, the weakest payment. It would take a lot of physical objects to get what you want.
I'm
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just not finding guidance, so I don't think.
Gotcha. Yeah, because guidance is one of those, you can prepare it if you want to, but as a...
Is it a spell?
It's a spell. It's a cantrip. So, but it is one of those, like, you would have to, like, re-prepare
Like,
it.
left
if you
foot
wanted.
outside of battle.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have it prepared.
Gotcha.
But I think as a cleric, I can have, like, I have all of the cleric.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So could I take a few minutes to do it?
It's, unfortunately, it would take a long rest for the preparation for it.
Okay. And I have a point of exhaustion, so that probably doesn't help.
Yeah. It's that, like, yeah, already you had a really rough night, you know, all those nightmares, and so for Gingy, it's like, okay, probably not now.
Thank you.
Is there a way to, like, raise our hand over Discord or something?
Not technically. It's the only downside.
Okay.
But
That's
yeah.
fair.
What do you have, Minareth?
Then I'm wondering if I tell the pool secret. I wonder if that might work.
I guess I'll say I'll give you a lot on your insight check, Minareth. It's sacrifice. There is a sacrifice that needs to be made for the information to be gained.
I see.
For Adora, and just kind of bouncing back on a 15 religion check.
No, it was higher. It was 16. Right?
Oh, right. 16. Thank you.
Yeah.
Adora, on the 16, you know the hilt of the sword must be important. Not just to you, but other creatures. If you were to give it up, though, and I would say it's not only what you're thinking, it's what Minareth has started figuring out, what Valka figured out, what everyone's figuring out. It's a sacrifice. If you put this hilt in, it is gone. Like, not but we could get it back, or it's gone. So again, that's why there's no check, there's no anything. It's do you put it in or not? Yes, Minrith.
Just telling Eleanor, please don't put in the sword.
But I mean, that's all I have.
I think it could be a cool character choice. Like,
True.
yes, you would never ever have it, but it also means like no one else could ever get it. Like it's gone. It would be like a huge world building repercussions thing. It's like it's cool that you have the power to make that choice.
Trying so hard not to metagame because I'm in one of the other campaigns, and apparently somebody needs this to save their friends, but also like I need answers.
I'm gonna try something, August.
Roll it out.
I think I have an idea. I hope it works, because if it doesn't, this is really freaking gonna suck. So August, you know the picture that I texted you forever ago about some ideas of what Minareth looks like?
Mm-hmm.
There should be basically an empty spot over her collarbone. I think you know what it represents. I can just message it to you because I can't seem to find the chat for Discord for you. But basically, I want to carve an X to it, not like self-mutilation sort of thing, but just enough to draw blood over that spot that I texted you, and
Gotcha.
put that blood in the pool.
All right.
I think it might sacrifice quite a bit, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I will say you're gonna put that in. Before we get to it, because I am prepping over here the box of doom. I'm gonna have to make a roll depending on stuff. Adora, do you put in the sword or do you put in anything else?
Hear me out. Do I know if putting in my ponytail band would do anything? Because that still means a lot to Adora. She really hates not, having her hair in her face, and it's kind of part of her.
I'd say it's kind of like Minareth. It's a sacrifice. It's
okay.
There's a difference between, oh, I really like this thing, and this is something I need or use. Like, there's a difference between I can give up $10 and if I give up my Metro card, I can't get to work. That level of stuff.
Would cutting off my hair count?
Nope.
No.
I mean, unlike, shall we say, to throw out a random example, an eyeball, hair is superfluous. It can grow back. It can change.
An eyeball, you say?
I mean, come on, you know the myths.
That's what Odin did. We literally just went over the story.
Okay, which one is the one that Odin did?
Oh my gosh, don't you dare.
Please don't rip out your eyeball.
Please no.
I would rather do the eyeball than the sword.
I mean, that's actually fair. That's a fair sentiment.
Like, because the sword I could still use. It's kind of my best weapon, stat-wise and story-wise. A lot of people are after it, especially not just bad people, but good people, other player characters in other campaigns.
All right.
And yeah, I'm going for the left eyeball.
It is his right one that he sacrificed. Sorry.
Oh, it's the right one. Never mind. We're going for the right eyeball.
I guess if you're gonna do something like this, we have a cleric standing by at least.
In case it all goes wrong. Here we go.
Keep me from fainting, please.
What I will say, I'm about to roll in the box of doom here in real life. I have the camera set up. I have everything. You guys might just hear the music. So be ready. So here we go. Rolling in the box of doom. once at a time. We're first rolling for Minareth. Okay. That is that number. I will tell you in a second. And here we go. Adora, you are putting in your eye. I am rolling this with advantage. First number has been rolled. Here comes the second number. Excellent. As we cut now, Minareth, you take your knife. Blood touches the water. As Adora, you take the side of the broken hilt of your sword and give up your right eye. That's where we're going to end tonight's session.
I don't even know if it takes the magic. What?
Yep, that's where we're ending in the Box of Doom. As thank you all so much for playing. Thank you for listening. I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Wait, my headphones reset. I didn't hear what happened. What?